Hiya, I'm PJ and I'm gonna play a game. Pokemon Legends Arceus. I played through the entire game, so this is gonna be a long one. So let's get started. Opening scene, we find ourselves in a void when we see a smartphone floating right next to us, and an Arceus shows up. After this, we're waking up on a beach and we're greeted by these Pokemon. This is where we meet Professor Laventon. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Upon meeting him, our character looks incredibly sad, but soon the three Pokemon ran off. We have to find them now. As we do, we stumble across our smartphone we saw earlier. I mean, it's a different shape, but whatever. We meet back up with Laventon, and he gave us our first Pokeball. We round up the runaways.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Later enter the village. There we meet a girl named Arceus. After we have dinner, we go to bed that night. Then this happens overnight, I guess. The next day, Captain Celine gave us a mission to catch 3 Pokemon. More on that later. Next, we're given a choice to choose either Cyndaquil, Roulette, or Oshawott as our starter Pokemon. Outside, we meet Volo. This is when we have our first Pokemon battle. After winning, we adventure out and catch our 3 Pokemon, Bidoof, Starly, and Shinx. We head back to the village and change our clothes. Seeing our new outfit, Celine gave us a hat, cause that'll really complete the outfit. Upstairs in this place, we meet Camendo. We're given an option to throw him or charge at him. I doubt what I chose would have made a difference in the outcome of this scene. Outside of the village, Laventon tells us about our research tasks, which means we fill up the Pokedex, and then Arceus has a word of advice for us. So we head out and follow Arceus around. I killed a Bidoof. I actually killed a few of them. After reporting back to Professor Laventon, we're given $1,500 as a reward for, killing Bidoof. Now there's a lot to unpack here, so I'll keep it brief. We're a part of an elite group of people who call themselves the Survey Corps, and there's this whole ranking system I can't really get into right now. So on with the story. After reporting to Laventon, I had to do some grinding because my points weren't good enough, so I got in a scuffle with a group of Shinx. And for no reason at all, I have 2 Starlies. We go back to see our captain. Upon seeing our progress, we're rewarded a star and our rank goes up. The next day, Arceus asked me for help. I said no, but then she convinced me. So we end up meeting her in the training area. This is when we meet her partner Pokemon, Pikachu. We battle them, and I use my Cyndaquil named Pepper. After the fight, we meet Zizu. On our way out of the village, we got spooked by Volo. Good news though, I evolved my first Pokemon. Out here, we see Akari talking to a girl named Miai. We battle against Miai, and I must say it's nice how swapping out your Pokemon doesn't count as a turn. We get a call on our phone. It seemed to have startled our character. Before we leave, Miai asked us if we know about the Sinnoh region. I said yes, but she's gonna tell us anyway. So we make it to the Deep Track Heights to meet Miai. And as a surprising turn of events, Leventon joined us. It's here where we have to battle a Pokemon called Elfin Pokemon. I start with Pepper. Poor Pepper. After we win, Raider shows up. And that's it. We walk into the commander's office and we see him talking to two people who I assume are from two different clans, or at least that's what I think they are, because they've been talking about this for like 10 minutes. And we meet Adaman from the Diamond clan and Areda from the Pearl clan. Oh, I get it now. I like how the mouths never stop moving even after the text has been on screen for a while. So now we have a mission, in their words, study Lord Claver. I don't know if that's a person or a Pokemon. I thought it was a real person. So we set out on another adventure where we cross rivers and travel a great distance and...
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because...
We finally made it up here and we meet this kid, Lion. We have a battle against him before we meet Cleaver. Plot twist, we don't get to meet Cleaver yet. We instead go back to Leventon and he tells us we have to feed Cleaver its favorite food. And after pondering, Leventon came to the conclusion we have to throw the food at him. I'm assuming we do it that way because this whole game's gimmick is we throw Pokeballs, so we throw the food the same way. We walk out here and see the wide air from earlier. So long story short, they gave us this flute to summon wide air anytime. This is the only Pokemon game where our characters' mouths actually move. Irenda challenges us to a battle for some reason. Good news though, we finally get to see Lord Cleaver. Then we get to fight him too. We to Judge Light Village to meet up with Volo. We show her some plate we collected from our battle. We report back to the commander. We learn that something is making the Pokemon act weird and we gotta figure it out. The next day we meet Arceus from the Diamond Clan. We'll be meeting her in the commander's office. This sucks, but we have to catch more Pokemon. Well, actually, we have to complete some research tasks. So we set out. I caught a Breezo. I evolved more of my Pokemon. Starly, Shinx, and Bidoof. I beat up some Driftloon. We go back to headquarters to get our second star. In front of the gate, Arceus challenges us to a battle for God knows what reason. By the way, her Pokemon are like level 20. What the? Now we go to Crimson Merelands. It's here where we head to Celestian Ruins, and we also meet an old woman named Caliba. And for no reason at all, we're challenged to another battle. She just switched out her Pokemon. Can you do that? Next, we had to track down some fragments. See this wall of bullshit right here? Yeah. I struggled to catch my first Pichu. I used way too many Pokeballs on this one. But look how happy I am. We walk to this campfire, then these women shows up. And yeah, another battle we're in. But don't worry, we get a fragment from this fight. Hey guys, it's actually happening. Pepper is about to evolve. We return the fragments to Calibi. We meet up with her in this desolate place. She plays a flute to summon Urserena. So we fight them, then we get to ride them. Later at the camp, we spot an unknown. We show up back at the commander's office. We get assigned to find Arceus. I evolved another Pokemon. We finally find Arceus when that old lady decided to show up. And Adam Man came too. They all say we have to meet somewhere on top of this mountain because apparently there is a wild Lilligant lurking around here. So we have to do what we did earlier. We calmed its frenzy, yes, as I keep saying. And then these two have a moment. After all that, we have dinner later that night. They do this every other mission we complete. I just leave those parts out because it's getting repetitive at this point. The next day, Arceus announced she's opening up her own hair salon here in the village, and the commander shows up. This is the first time we see him outside of his office. He takes us to a beach where we find a whole group of people. I don't know about that. Back at the village, we earn our third star. At the gate, Lion shows up and starts telling us how stones evolve certain species of Pokemon as if we never played Pokemon before. Leventon takes us to Cobalt Coastlands. It's here where Irida challenges us to a battle. Later, Breezo evolves and Lexo evolves into Electrode. And I finally caught an Eevee. And I just got a Golbat. And oh my god, you guys, I found a shiny Vulpix. Later, we meet someone named Paulina. She tells us to go find some dude on Apom Hill. But on our way, we run into Volo. Why, hello, Mr. PJ. Fancy running into you here. Not the first time someone greeted me like that. So we finally meet Iske. He tells us to catch him a Dusclops. We do so, then Dusclops makes us some food when we get back. Guess what? It's happening again. Pepper is evolving! What? This is not Typhlosion. Now, look, this is what Typhlosion is supposed to look like. You see where I'm upset about this? Okay, gotta admit, he looks dope. So later we catch up with Iskane at the beach. The lady with the Growlithe shows up. Iskane summons a giant fish. Its name is Basculegon. I play my flute and now it's mine. After this, those three sisters from before came. Charm, Clover, and Coin. They brought a Gengar to steal one of the Growlithe. Now with the ability to swim, we travel across the ocean and find this lava-looking place. And I got blasted with fire and now I'm burnt because humans can take damage too. I evolved my Staravia and Golbat. So we finally get to this volcano. We find the three sisters trying to make the Growlithe evolve. Not what I was expecting. I thought they were gonna sacrifice it or something, you know, because they're next to a volcano. We have to battle the girls. Obama Snow died with one hit. Toxicroak was another story. And finally, we battle the Gengar. We win, then the other Growlithe shows up. Plot twist, this Growlithe ends up evolving. Into Arcanine. But then this happens. So now it becomes enraged like those other Pokemon we fought. After it returns to normal, Paulina says her goodbyes. It was probably very emotional. Before leaving, I evolved Vulpix. Shiny Ninetales. Nice. This was an experience. So we report back to Commander What's-His-Name. We meet this character. Later we rank up. Then we battle Adamant. up with this guy whose name is Ingo. Then that lady with the purple hair shows up. Her name is Melly. We end up going through Wayward Cave. Inside, Ingo leads the way. They never explain why the outline of our character is sparkly. I found an unknown. Later, we meet up with Millie. After we win, we find ourselves in a dingy place where we see Volo. By the way, I think Volo might be a dude. Yeah, so anyway, he starts talking about the rift and why I fell from the sky. Later, we fight Ingo for some reason. After the fight, Ingo plays a flute and summons Sneasel. This is when the Sneasel becomes my friend. And, yeah, this is kind of cool. Next, Gable evolves. Later, we battle Millie again, and we have to take out all 3 of her Pokemon. Millie's really giving you the runaround, isn't he, PJ? This is when I realized Mealy's actually a guy. Next, we pass him and make our way to Electrobe. Sending out a Pokemon is optional, so I just do this. After we win, Electro rolls off, and the next day we're assigned the next mission. As we walk through the hall, this scene takes place. And they don't even talk about what that was and what happened. We got our 5th star. We find Akari at the gate and fight her. We then find ourselves in this Iceland.
Yeah, I've been doing some grinding, so...
So we meet up with Arada and Adaman. They're with this shirtless guy who does squats. For some reason, we do battle with him. Next, on top of this ice hill, we see this little girl. She stays there until we walk up to her. She runs off though, so we catch up with her again. And after that, we follow her to this temple. She goes inside and guess what? We end up chasing after her. Now this next part was tricky. I walk up to this door and it wanted me to press each panel in the correct order. I didn't know how I was gonna do that, so I watched the walkthrough. This isn't the only door, by the way. There are many others with each having a lot more panels to press. But after we do all that, we find Sabi, the little girl, and we have to take out her 3 Pokemon. After her defeat, we follow her up on top of the roof. This is where we do battle. Not with her, but with her bravery. After the battle, Sabi plays her flute, then I play my flute, and the bravery I just defeated, well, yeah, you know, we get to fly places. So we fly and land here, where we find Velo talking to shirtless squats guy. Anyway, we meet up with him again in front of this mountain, because we have to calm another Pokemon's frenzy. But before we move on, so the next day, we walk outside and the sky is looking kind of rough. We get called into the commander's office, which isn't a good sign. And apparently Commander Kabuto does not like that I fell from the sky. In fact, he thinks I'm the reason for the frenzy of all the Pokemon we fought. So I was banished from the village. But before moving forward, I gained another rank. So we were banished from Jebelife Village, and the professor was shocked to hear about this. Ekari was probably shocked as well, or pretty happy about it. I can't really tell. So we took the Walk of Shame. But hey, it's okay, guys. I evolved another Pokemon. I think we're gonna be alright. So we're told to go find Lion. You know, the youngest person in the game. Yeah, he'll know what to do. He couldn't do anything for us, but he did tell us to go ask Mii for help. But no, she didn't do anything either. But when all hope seemed lost, not sure what that was about. But Volo showed up and he took us to this tent and introduced us to a lady called Kogita. She told us we have to do 3 trials at each separate lakes. And we have to decide who to take with us on our journey, Adaman or Arita. I chose Arita because I like her face. First stop, Lake Verity. We have to get into a cave somehow. So inside we find some of those Pokemon with glowing red eyes. We take it on, we beat them, but then I found an unknown behind the cave. So I guess this was a part of the trial. Onto Lake Actori. We do the whole process again. After we beat whatever that thing was, Kyrune appeared. Yeah, that's its name, right? So here is where it starts asking me how many eyes each of these Pokemon has. Combi, Zubat, Unknown, Magneton, and Dusclops. I answered 20111. I was wrong. I forgot Combi had 6. So, on to Lake Volar. So inside we find a Quellfish, and guess who appeared after we beat him? So we have to hit it with something. It makes us do this 3 to 4 times until it finally gives us what we came here for. We then travel to the ruins. Azuf, Yuxi, and Miss Spirit appeared next to this stone. They gave us the red chain. I didn't mention this before, but this was the goal the whole time. Back at Jollife Village, we see Akari is looking sad. I guess she was really upset when we left. But then our character runs by. She came running towards us. We discovered Commander Kamido isn't here. We have to go to Mount Koret Peak. So we head in this cave and find Benny. You know, Benny, the guy who served us dinner every night. Well, he's a super cool ninja now, and he's evil. You know how the Elite Four would use potions when they're on the verge of death? By the way, I hate it when they throw out a Pokemon and they just start straight up attacking you before I even choose a move. I was down to my last Pokemon, but Pepper pulled through and we won. After we pass him, we make it to Mountain Peak to find Kamido. I guess he's a bad guy now. That's why he's wearing this getup, I guess. I don't remember this being explained, so I don't know what he's trying to do here, but we gotta stop him from doing something. So we fight him, and then we beat him. After we win, he does this. Then we walk up to the temple. So we use the red chain on Palkia. We wind up in a battle with it. I catch it. Then after Dialga made its big entrance, we bailed. We go back to the campsite. Arita keeps telling us she's hearing Palkia in her head. Before we go any further, here's what I've been doing on the side. I ranked up and I evolved a few more Pokemon. So we enter this cave and find those sisters again. I battled one of them. Then they vanished like this. Lion investigated the wall. There he uncovered the organ ore. We bring it back to Professor Levinton. Akari crafted it into the organ Pokeball. With it, we travel back to the Sinnoh Temple to catch Dialga. Now, you would think at this part of the game, me and Palkia would battle Dialga, right? But nah, I just run around the battlefield doing this instead. I don't know why it went like that when it should have went like this. So after we fight him, I catch him with the organ Pokeball. Once it's caught, the sky clears up, everyone leaves the temple happy. We, the player, look back at the sky with a smile that says, I did it. And that's the end of the game. After this, there's some credits. And there's some after game stuff we have to do, but we'll get into that a little later. The thing is, this game has cool cutscenes and, it's Pokemon. Those are the only good things I have to say about it. There's a lot of grinding you have to do. By that I mean there's too many research tasks for each individual Pokemon, like number of Pokemon you caught, number you defeated, but not Pokemon in general, each species of that Pokemon. And depending on the Pokemon, defeat it with a certain move type. And you have to evolve each species of Pokemon at least once. So why would I do that when I can catch the evolution Pokemon in the wild? Oh yeah, to check it off my checklist. Also, the fighting mechanics don't even play by the same rules as traditional Pokemon games. And by that I mean sometimes your opponent or enemy Pokemon attacks twice in one turn. And when one of your Pokemon faints and you choose another, before picking an attack, your enemy might go ahead and just start attacking. They won't do it every time, but they might. There is no consistency. It's unpredictable. I mean, it's cool you can run around the battlefield freely. Also, I took footage of this because I thought it was funny. And I found this glitch. 2 Pokemon were invisible. We head back to Lake Boulder, Lake Verity, and Lake whatever. Why? Because we have to catch Miss Spirit, Uxie, and Ozof. Even though we could have caught them the first time we were here, they probably did this to make the game longer. And I'm not just saying that because the longer the game is, the more I have to edit. But the reason we're doing this is to collect some plates. And for the first time, this game doesn't hold your hand. We don't have any guidance this time. We only have to go off of this. So, in addition to catching the 3 others, we also catch Heatran, Cresselia, later, we have trouble getting the last plate, because Volo has it. This is where things start to take a twist. Yeah, so Volo starts to go crazy for Arceus, so we have to fight Volo. I won, but then Giratina shows up and they throw me into this battle without a full health party. My Pokemon are all dead and they don't even give me the option of healing any of my Pokemon before this fight. This part was a huge pain in the ass given so many times Volo was able to attack twice in one turn and start using super effective moves when as soon as I bring out another Pokemon. So I died instantly. And just when I think I was about to win, he transforms into this and it regains all its health. And I died again. I also discovered action order is a thing in this game. And if you make your move stronger, your opponent might get an extra turn. But that's the drawback. By some miracle, I finally won. So after we win, Volo gives us the last plate. Then our flute turns into the Azure flute. The idea of this is we play the flute at the Sinnoh Temple. This will summon Arceus. Except when I did this, nothing happened. Because if you want to see Arceus, you'll have to complete the Pokedex. I'm not going to do that. This is my current progress at the time of making this video. It will probably stay that way for a long time. My final thoughts are this isn't a bad game. It's an okay game with glitches and more glitches. But I'm pretty much done here. I evolved all the Pokemon I could, I made it to the highest rank that I could, and I completed as many research tasks as I could. There's nothing more for me to say, so I guess I'll see you in the next video.